All right, so I'm cleaning out this section of Chickasaw plum trees right here that's just behind the shower because I got to install the fence going this way. So from the corner of the whole north wall, I got to start doing the west side of the fence. That's going to go from the corner. Sorry about the crazy camera action here. It's going to go from the corner of the north side and it's going to go all the way to the back of the tarp barn. All right, so I got to get this stuff cleared out, which has got to get cleared out anyways, because eventually this is pretty much where the bath wash house is going to be going. So might as well do it now since I'm taking a little construction break on the cabin. Do some destruction stuff, I guess. I hate cutting the trees and stuff. I really do, but that's why I saved some of these strategic, beautiful, healthy, and very abundant producing Chickasaw plum trees over here. Plus, on the other side of the property, and all on the northeast corner of the property, that's all it is these Chickasaw plums. And they're all over the place, and they grow so fast. I mean, they're like weeds here, but I still feel it when I'm cutting them like this. I still feel it. Alrighty, got that area all cleaned up. I'll come through here with the weed whacker next time I use it, get the rest of that ground stuff cleaned up. So it is ready for the rest of the western fence to get installed. So now it's ready for the rest of the western fence to get installed. And guess what? All of these are gonna become, that's right, wood chips for the garden. At least they still serve a purpose, right? All right. All right, in the last couple videos that I did when I was building the decks, I got some good questions in the comments, and I want to go ahead and address those right now real quick. So one of the first questions, one of the comments is when I was building the back deck here, somebody said, you know, why did I buy, 8 or 10 foot lumber and then cut so much of it off, cut off feet of it? It was such a waste of money and material, and I didn't waste any of it. So what I ended up doing, for future reference, any of you guys that are going to build a deck, this is just how we used to do it all the time. But when I ran this piece right here, like right here, or not that one, like this one right below it where my finger's at, I had an 8-foot piece and I had to stick it out and I had to get it lined up to where the joists are. And when I cut it, that became a piece for the next one right there. See how that one's a lot lower now, or a lot shorter, right? So you're going to see how there's these long pieces and then there's these short pieces. And the reason why I staggered it that way is you don't want your joints to create this one long continuous seam all the way through your deck. You want to make sure that you're breaking up the joints, okay? And then that way, it's kind of like when you're like this, when you're laying flooring, right? When you're laying flooring in here, right? You want your seams to be staggered, okay? You don't want your seams to be in one straight line. Exactly the same thing when you're building decking. One, it's better for the decking when it's laying down long term and it's getting wet and shrinking and expanding and doing all that stuff. Okay, you're not going to get this weird kind of like thing that happens where it's just one continuous seam. That's why you break it up. And two, aesthetics, it looks better. Okay, the other question that I had that came up is, especially when I did the front deck. Let me go show you the front deck, because it's the same thing on both decks. Okay, but because the question came up on the front deck build, I'll answer it over here on the front deck. Okay. Look at it. It's like I just morphed through like a wormhole right there. Actually, we'll probably see it better in the sun. My lizard buddy. Did you see him? He's figured out, that little lizard buddy. I think it's the same one. There's his tail. He's figured out how to get in and out of the cabin all on his own. So sometimes he comes in and he just stays like right here and he checks things out and he visits me and I go and I tease him and he's like, ah, and then he runs back out. But anyways, so the other question I had on this deck when I was building this one, somebody asked, why did I butt up the decking boards right next to each other and I didn't leave any spaces? And I did answer this commenter in the comments. I responded to it, but it's a good question. If I was using composite material, plastic material, then I would have spaced it all out. But because I'm using wood, okay, I did not. I butted everything up against each other, because what happens to wood when it's sitting in the sun and it's drying out over time? It shrinks, right? So now you're going to see that there's all these perfect size spacings between the planks because I butted them up against each other, and just over the course of a couple of weeks, the wood has dried out and it's shrunk. So now you can see I've got these beautiful, perfect spacings naturally occurring between the deck. So these two boards, let me show you what would have happened if I would have spaced them out like you would like composite decking. These two boards right here, so there's a little crown in this board. So on the edge right here, they didn't meet up perfectly. I wasn't able to butt them up. There was a little bit of a gap. So when I originally did this, same thing with this one, right? When you look at over here, you know, these were all butted up against each other, and look how perfect the gap is. But if I would have made this size gap, which is the size gap that this originally was, or it might have been a little bit bigger, but it was about that. Look how big this gap is now. And there's no way I'd want this size gap all along the middle in the highest traffic areas of the deck. You know, that's when you end up like, especially when you're barefoot, you don't want like your toes to get stuck in there or something like that. So that's why I butted it up. That's if you're using wood decking, okay, not composite. Composite decking is not going to shrink as it dries out, okay? Wood decking is going to shrink as it dries out. So that's just, you know, a little something. So great questions. And I thought it'd be cool to tackle them down. So if you're looking to build a deck, whether on your off-grid, on-grid, whatever, I don't know, you just want to build a deck in the middle of nowhere, there you go. That's just my 2 cents on it. Everybody's got their own different things that they do when it comes to building decks and really anything. So, alrighty. Back to the show.